do to be a popular speedrunner? Do I just have to like whip my hog out on stream? Is that how it?
No, you have to pick a top tier.
I have to pick a top tier?
Yeah, you have to get record.
What if my dick is a top tier?
David Lynch makes quinoa. Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. My name is Nestani.
What?
I am.
You know David Lynch is dead, right? Like, he passed
It's
away.
made past tense. Quinoa in the past.
Okay.
I'm Jaxler and also very confused.
I'm DECosmic, and I'm extremely confused. Also, R.I.P. David Lynch.
Dude, I'm Coley, and I'm so excited for what's about to happen right now.
Oh, boy.
Just before the podcast, Cosmic's like, let's talk about David Lynch. And let me tell you about a glorious film that I had to watch for fucking film school, by the way, called David Lynch Makes Quinoa. The video, sorry, the film, sorry, let me call it a film, because it's not a YouTube video, even though it's...
Dude.
He makes quinoa, video, and he talks about how he makes quinoa. That's the whole film. I watched it for 20 minutes straight. And then I came to class and I had to listen to all these pretentious fucking assholes talk about like, dude, David Lynch is like such a fucking giga brain. Like, oh my God, he's just like, oh, I want to suck him off, man. And in the video, you can look it up on YouTube. It has 500,000 views on YouTube. It has a more than Coley's Scooby video, for fun fact. I don't know why I dug on you for no reason.
One day I will be the
It's
David
literally
Lynch.
just called David Lynch Makes Quinoa. It's 20 minutes. You cannot see anything. It is pitch black. No lighting is there. You can't see shit, bro. Like, he turned off the lights, and like the whole concept of this film is that he's breaking every film norm ever, and it's like, and he's a renegade, and it's so cool, and it's like so deep and like layered, and like, oh my God, he's such a good storyteller. Like, oh, he's just so cool. Wow, I can't believe he died.
Wow.
And that is what I've seen from David Lynch.
All I know about David Lynch is...
I'm very sorry that was your introduction to David Lynch.
All I know of David Lynch is just like he'd pop on my Twitter feed every week and like be like, if you can believe it, it is Saturday once again, or like some shit.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
that's pretty funny. Yeah, the weather
That's
report.
all I know about David Lynch. That's what I'm working with here.
Hey, dude. Because here's the thing is I like film, and Nestani, I don't even remember when we were talking about this. It was like you
on
were
my stream,
Lunistis or something. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know, maybe I'll glean something from it, because I kind of like film, and I watched it and I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like, he's making quinoa, but he's also just saying other random shit, and it's like in black and white, and I'm like, what is happening? Like, all I know about this guy now, like, that is it. And all I know about this guy now is that he's made quinoa, and then now he's dead. So like, I feel bad, but I know that he's like a really important filmmaker guy, and I don't think I've seen any of his movies. I'm not sure, but I just that is so funny that before this podcast started, Cosmic.
That's the can of art worms that I opened.
Bro
Yeah,
made a YouTube video and everyone like pretended that it was a film. On God, everyone don't watch it. Watch like the first 2 minutes max. You'll get the point.
There's no way he's not trolling. Like, it has to be a troll.
It's not.
Like,
here's the thing about David Lynch. Cosmic's probably gonna have something to say about this. Here's the thing about David Lynch is that his whole shtick, and this is what grinds my gears, is that his whole shtick is, hey, I am going to do. He's basically just the hipster of film, basically. That's the best way to like dumb it down and put it. He's intentionally doing things incorrectly or in different ways than the norm, but just to do it, in my opinion. It's not like because he truly thinks this is like great art or whatever. It just feels like he's just rebelling against like the norms, which if you're a high strung pretentious snob in a film critics class, then you think that's really cool. But if you're a regular human being, you just realize that you wasted 20 minutes of your life watching someone make quinoa.
See, this is because your only experience with David Lynch is David Lynch Makes Quinoa.
I don't want to watch anything else.
That's fair. I mean, if that's your introduction to him, then I can understand having that.
I also just don't like movies.
Yeah, see, this is the other thing. You don't like TV shows.
I disassociated the whole time.
That's the worst part.
I pulled the Jaxler. My eyes glazed over. I was like, I can't focus on this. It's just like it's pitch black. I'm just like, bro, like.
Yeah.
Dude, it was like as dark as Van Helsing. It's like a Van Helsing and Frights Had a Baby. That's how dark it was. Dude.
Van Helsing on my monitor was not that dark. Okay, it's just the capture. I just want to set the record straight on that. All right.
Yes. Good.
Anyway,
Number
you
two,
can
the
talk about how good and glorious David Lynch was and how much of a tragedy it is that he's dead. Go ahead, because he probably did something cool. I just don't know about it.
I actually don't have a ton to say about David Lynch because a lot of like my experience with David Lynch is
that's crazy.
Well, no. So I thought that Cole would actually have more to say because Cole is also a guy that likes film, but I don't know.
David
Lynch
look up what he's movies.
He's done
David
like
Lynch
Mulholland Drive
and
Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks is the big TV show that he did.
That's the only one I recognize.
So I will say that like
Twin Peaks, Lumineer, Dune 1984.
That he actually Dune, the original Dune. Oh, that movie's Oh, dude. Oh my God, Nestani. If you watch the original Dune, you'll be like, "Yep, this makes sense." Like this is the guy. It makes so much sense now that he made quinoa that way, dude. That
here's the thing.
Adorable.
Hold on, relax. Hold on,
is
relax.
Dune 1984 Dune 1 that people reference in terms of Dune 2,
No.
or is this a different Dune?
No, so
not to confuse Dunes on Tatooine.
So
and
back in
KOTOR
the 1980s, David Lynch made the Dune films, and he actually regards them as like the single biggest failure of his career. So
he made
that should tell you
sorry.
Well, the thing is
At
that
least the quinoa tasted good, probably.
he said that
he did put broccoli in it. It was kind of fire.
he said that the biggest problem with Dune was that he didn't have final cut privileges. So he had a great time making the film, and the cast and crew were all good, but he didn't have the ability to do the final cut, so it didn't end up being the film that he wanted to make.
Not to be confused with Final Cut, the Apple application for editing videos.
Yeah.
That didn't
How do you
exist in
not get
1984.
final cut privileges?
I don't know what it was like in the 80s, so I don't know if maybe the label wanted to control it, especially because it was an IP, like a known IP and everything.
It was probably some bullshit.
Probably, yeah. But the Dune that most people reference in reference to Dune Part 2 are the Dune films made by Denis Villeneuve in the last few years or so.
Sure,
and those films are incredible. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of what I will say about David Lynch is that he definitely gives you the ability to appreciate the abstract in terms of storytelling, especially when you look at the works of. I'm not
giving
Nestani
more
bro.
flashbacks.
I'm not talking about the quinoa video, dude.
He's boiling. He's boiling.
Look, I know you're never going to watch anything from David Lynch, so you can just walk away for all that this is going to matter to you, to be honest. So
he was about to get out.
It's fine, yeah. Because if he's not going to get anything out of it, then what's the point in listening? But I mean, if you look at the works of like,
because then people will not tune into our podcast.
That's true. Yeah. But I mean, I think that in general, if you're not going to get anything out of anything or out of something, then maybe just turn it off. You don't need to consume stuff, but you should like
Except for our
but
podcast.
Anyway,
you should consume
our
podcast.
Yeah,
it's
we
true.
were talking
You should
about
do
1984. The year the Dune came
mindlessly,
out.
you should do it.
Not to be confused with 1984, the book by George
Orwell.
I haven't read it yet, but it's in there. I haven't read it.
I want to read it.
I own it. I haven't read it. People say it's good.
That's fair.
I haven't read it.
Yeah. So the other thing too is that like, even though I haven't seen a bunch of David Lynch's work, the things that I'm most kind of familiar with in terms of what's adjacent to his work is Remedy games, which a lot of their games are written by Sam Lake, or if not all of them, and he is heavily influenced by David Lynch. Especially stuff like Twin Peaks, and seeing that influence come through, and really like the thing about David Lynch's legacy is that he is very much about just being unapologetically weird, and in terms of making quinoa, I'm sure that was kind of the
he's like the me of filmmaking.
Probably, yeah. I mean, he's just very...
he's probably way more pretentious than you are.
He's not pretentious at all.
I can be pretentious.
Literally,
if you man off of
if you just
tutorial.
honestly, if you just watch any interviews with people that worked with him, any interviews with him himself, you'd see he's just not pretentious. He really
so it's just everyone that watches him then. Okay, understood.
Exactly. Yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those things where the artist is like quite authentic and quite down to earth, and is just like, you know, somebody that just has chaotic art, and as a result of that, people that understand it go, oh man, look at me, I can understand this, I'm so smart.
It's the film majors that are the problem here.
Which the thing with David Lynch is that he wants people to be able to appreciate abstract storytelling. And there's like an interview with him talking about how people get used to film that just kind of says what it is, but he wants people to be able to appreciate, you know, like the abstraction of art. So that's really all it is. It's people that take what he's saying and then weaponize it against people that either don't really get the aesthetic and maybe don't want to, or they're not teaching people how to understand like the purpose of art like that. You know, it's one thing to tell somebody, you know, like, well, this is why a film that doesn't just like look you dead in the face and then tell you what's going on is important, as opposed to just saying, oh yeah, here's why this is this is what's happening, and if you don't understand that on the first go through, then you're an idiot. You know, there's a really big difference in that. So it's like when you would have an English professor that will tell you to read a poem, you know, or whatever, and then it'll be a poem by like
John Jacob Jingleheimer Smith.
Or whatever, right? And then they'll like explain everything to you, and then you read through it again, and you're like, okay, so clearly you spent a lot more time on Google reading this poem than I did. You know, it's a whole lot of again. I come back to the college professor that I had that said, when it comes to like teaching a class, there's two ways you can do it, and the first way is you can take something that has tons and tons of layers, and you can wow the students with how, you know, how big your knowledge base is, or you can take something that's seemingly simple and show them how to explore how deep it actually is. So this is the difference
like
between
making quinoa. Let's explore how deep quinoa is.
How to make quinoa.
Let's explore David Lynch's quinoa. Yeah. And
that's there's some connotations there.
Wait,
just
Nestani,
quinoa.
Have you seen the Dune movies or no?
No.
I'm assuming no. Okay.
Dude,
oh my god, dude.
You want to know something
funny? Now that
funny?
I know that he made those.
The fucking we had like a sheet to like fill out because it's a fucking film class, right?
Oh boy.
And you know, it's asking relatively easy questions for most people. Like, you know, what's your favorite movie like before you were born? I was like, oh, easy. Sound of Music, easy clap, cool. What's your favorite movie that was made when you like after like during your time of being alive? I was like, Interstellar, easy. Cool. And then he was like,
David Lynch makes
what
quinoa.
is your favorite movie that you watched in the past year? And then I sat there. I haven't watched a movie in the past year. I haven't.
Ouch.
Why don't you like films?
I do like films. I just don't watch them. Like, I don't have a problem with them, but I don't like them enough to go out of my way to watch them. I'd rather just watch YouTube. If that.
You should have
I'm
just
also
messaged
not
me.
someone who watches like movies or even shows a lot.
I also don't watch shows. I don't watch shows for a very specific reason, though. Go ahead, though.
Yeah.
I can come back.
I find them really tiring. Where
Same.
like it's really exhausting, especially for like a 2-hour movie to just like sit there and like engage with the thing for 2 hours straight, you know? And I know you can like take breaks and stuff like that, but you know, it's like there's some inherent friction in the medium for like pauses and stuff like that, right? You know, when you're reading a book,
you can watch Sound of Music.
like,
they have intermissions. Ad. Watch the 1964 one, though.
Yeah, but like if you read a book, right, you can be like, oh, I'm going to read to the end of this paragraph or to the end of this chapter, right? But I feel like with a movie, I have to be there the whole time or else I'm going to forget shit or like miss shit. So I can't really chunk it in such a way to like put it into my memory bank better.
I kind of feel that, but I was more leaning on like TV shows. Like whenever I watch TV shows, my brain just grinds to a halt. I remember I watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood because everyone's like, "Oh my god,
Full Metal Alchemist,
this is the best show anime ever! Like you've got to watch it." And I was like, "Word, I'll watch it," because I was trying to get back into anime, and then I promptly remembered why I stopped watching TV shows and anime is because I sit there and I like watch like 2 episodes, and my brain is just like.
It's like coming out of it is really rough.
I just feel like, have you all ever like laid in your bed and then like you just like feel like you're sinking deeper and deeper and deeper into it? That's how I feel whenever I watch like TV shows. Is I just feel like I'm just like slowly like drowning, and my body is just like I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like I'm just so dead afterwards, and my brain is just mush. And I can't binge it. It's like I could do like 1 episode a day. Really? But like, dude, I remember
binging I get. I don't like binging.
Well, the thing is, I'm not even binging. I just watched like 6 episodes or 7 episodes in one sitting, and I was just like,
That's definitely binging.
I would consider that binging.
Okay, well, but even like 3.
Like 1
3 episodes.
I'll say 1.
Cooked.
You know what it might also be as well, and I like, because I assume you read a lot more
Me?
than you watch shows or movies or stuff like that. Yeah,
I do. Yeah.
I think the other thing is that shows and movies don't have like an inherent physical component to them as a medium. So like at least with a book, for example, like you're turning the page and like you're like reading the words and then like building that mental model. So like there's kind of like that physicality to it. When you're playing a game, you know, you're pressing inputs on the controller. But like a movie or a show, you're just sitting there.
Yeah, but the thing is that like I watch podcasts all the time. Like I'll just watch like an hour-long podcast, hour and a half long podcast, nuke it, and I'll be like, "Go," and I'll be alive afterwards. I'll be
but
chilling.
You can multitask with that. That's the other thing. Like,
I don't.
You can throw a pot. Oh, you don't?
I'm an active watcher. Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I'm the rare active podcast watcher. I mean, I don't active watch every single podcast, but like I active watch most podcasts. Like there's only some. You don't have to be
like you don't have to be locked in at the same time.
Yeah, because I listen to podcasts like every morning when I'm cooking food, but those are normally the podcasts that I'm slightly interested in what they have to say, but not like I was watching like Jaron Jackson Jr. and Desmond Bain. They did a podcast for if you all know JJ Redick, his old podcast studio. They're basically continuing on. They just have basketball players on. They're just like 2 young basketball players in the NBA, and they're cool. But like that's a thing where I'm loosely interested in it, so I'm gonna listen to it like whenever. Yeah. But like Kevin Garnett's podcast, I'm locked in. I'm watching that shit. Boom. But so I don't really have time. I don't have problems with like the length or anything of that nature. I just don't know why, but the medium of TV shows specifically just like makes my brain halt, and I don't know why. I think I was talking to Cole about this literally when we were having the David Lynch discussion before, but like I think like podcasts, because it's like people talking, it's like it like engages my brain in like a different way than like a TV show, even though niggas are talking on TV show. Like, I don't know what's the difference. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense. And I will be the first to admit that it does not make sense why I don't like TV shows. Movies, on the other hand, just to answer Cole's question directly from a while ago, I just don't really watch movies alone. That's like my biggest thing. And I don't feel like watching new movies because it's like it's a 2 or 3 hour commitment. What if I don't like it? Like, what if it's Inglourious Bastards and I'm like, man, I wish I did something else. But on the flip side, you could be like, well, what if you like find something like Interstellar? And I'm like, you know what? You're correct. I just don't feel like doing it because I don't know.
It's weird that it's like, I love the fact I like films being in that complete package, and that there isn't like something to like with a book, like what you were saying, Jax, like I like the opposite of that. So I find that really interesting, even though I do still like sometimes when there's like, you know, you leave it on a cliffhanger and then you're like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? But a movie, it's like,
or like the page turn.
It's just, I'm going to just sound like one of these pompous film assholes where it's like an experience, man. It's like, you can just like sit in complete and utter. That's why I like going to the theater too. You can just complete focus and just immerse yourself in this story. And the story can suck, and then that makes me bitch. But like, if the story is good, then it's like you just like go to a different world, and then it's so cool. And I feel like with TV shows and shit, I just can't do that. TV shows, especially like older TV shows, like I've been watching Dragon Ball Z with college friends or whatever. Holy shit!
This guy's friends.
They just like pad out every single event when it could just take like 10 minutes. Like we watched an episode where they just, right? And I get the point is that it was on live TV and binge watching wasn't a thing.
That's not the point. Also, it's not why they did it.
So, well, then what's the point of them going over like I watched an episode where they literally explained all of the exposition that they had at the beginning of like a saga. Like, why would they repeat it again? If not for just like, oh, there's probably new viewers tuning in, and so much has also additionally happened that maybe a recap would be nice. Like, that's the only thing I can think of.
It's because the manga was going on at the same time, and they had to slow down the pace in order for the manga to keep up.
Yeah, that's
and stay far enough ahead for them to animate. So that is why Namek took fucking forever.
Yeah, yeah.
And also, Dragon Ball Z was supposed to end with Namek. It was supposed to end with Goku dying, being the last Super Saiyan, and then it was supposed to end at Cell with Goku or with Gohan being the only Super Saiyan. Don't say it. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Oh, I thought this was a rewatch. All right, my bad.
No,
I'm not gonna say anymore. But I will say
for DBZ.
that the fucking
I seriously don't know.
That series was supposed to end like 2 or 3 times, and then the manga kept going after Akira Toriyama kept writing it, and the show had to keep padding out things. So this is also why Berserk didn't really get like big anime adaptations either, is because the writer before he died was only coming out with chapters like every years. Like there were some times where there were just year-long breaks.
I want to read Berserk.
And this is also why the original Full Metal Alchemist, this is why Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood exists, is because the first Full Metal Alchemist, they ran out of manga. So they had to do more, like they had to do their own thing for the rest of that series. And then, once the manga was complete, they did Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Same thing happened with Hellsing and Hellsing Ultimate. The original Hellsing anime only has like 13 episodes or something. Again, they ran out of manga, or they didn't get the rights to all the manga, or some shit, I don't know. But the manga then finished. Then they did 10 OVAs, which cover...
Not to be confused with OVOs.
True. There's very little kids there's no kids in Hellsing, so there's no children in Hellsing. So
I thought you were going to say confuse anime generally. I'm like, there are lots of children in anime.
There's like no kids in Hellsing at all.
Sure.
Not to confuse with Van Helsing.
So yeah. Well, ironically, this series, like Van Helsing, has a guy that wears a hat and a jacket and has 2 guns. Sure. But I would say that Alucard.
Dude, I
would say that Alucard is a lot cooler than Van Helsing. But anyway,
Alucard.
So
Alucard. So sorry. That one was bad.
To put things in perspective with Hellsing Ultimate versus Hellsing. The events of Hellsing, the original series, are done in like 1.5 episodes of Hellsing Ultimate. So, like, this was a big thing with the early 2000s and the 90s, is that the mangas were still going, but then they were like, oh, we got to make TV shows out, or we want to make TV shows out of this. So stuff ended up getting padded as a result.
Yeah,
but
I forgot.
Then when they were finally done,
but yeah,
boom. Yeah, you can just bang it all out.
I do prefer when they do that, though, because if anybody out there has watched Soul Eater, I've never read Soul Eater, but like for Soul Eater, they were just like, fuck it, we ball. And they just went, and there's like an anime only ending, and that ending I feel is just trash in comparison to what I've heard of happening in the manga, where I'm like, this sounds so much better and makes way more sense. So
that's what happened with Akame ga Kill too. Yeah.
I haven't seen that, but yeah.
I would say if you want to,
if you of Akame ga Kill.
Akame ga Kill.
Really?
Hey,
I guess
I was gonna say.
I don't feel. That's a big ass camera. I'm not doing it.
No worries. I was gonna say, Cole. So if you want the Dragon Ball experience that you're looking for, you probably should watch Dragon Ball Kai.
See, that's what I'm telling my there's one roommate he was my roommate who has watched like all of Z and he's rewatching it and he's like, no, you got to experience everything. And I'm like, but it's fine now. I'm in Cell Saga right now, and it's pretty good so far. Like, it's way better than Namek was. Namek, I was like, oh my god, can we like?
Dude, you gotta waste your time like how I wasted my time. Come on, man.
Yeah, right.
Watch One Piece.
People tell me this. And then like when I go to watch Bleach, I was like, Bleach no filler guide, and I skipped like 40 episodes of the Bound Arc, dude.
That's
40.
There was like 30 it was like 20 to 40 episodes of the Bound Arc, and it was like and this is how you know it was really filler, okay? Because at the end of the first Soul Saga arc or the Soul Society arc or whatever it was, right? That's like 60 episodes. Awesome. So then some shit happens where like at the end of one of those episodes, Ichigo is like whisked away to the next arc, and then that's the start of the Bound Arc, okay? I went to the episode where the Bound Arc was done, and Ichigo got dropped back in his classroom, and the show acts like that didn't just happen. And then you move on with your life. You don't need to know what happened. The show's like, don't worry about it. And you can just keep going. So I will tell all anime watchers, if you don't want to watch the filler, don't do it. I think there's value maybe sometimes in it, but if you have like a 500 episode anime and you just want the shit that the manga has, sure, but you got to watch the Beach episodes. Beach episodes are always cool.
True. People have been saying this. I think also different shows have different types of filler. Like, I think, for example, I was thinking about Pokemon while you were talking about that. And, like, Pokemon filler is sometimes, like, that's part of, like, watching Pokemon, is watching, like, the
Fairy Tail is the same way.
You know?
Fairy Tail, I remember watching like some of the arcs in that, and I like there was an arc where they were like going in, like there was like some end of the world type shit happening and all this shit, and then somebody was like, oh yeah, that's a filler arc, and I was like, what the fuck? Like this is filler? Like I'm talking like there was character development and everything, and it was like,
wow,
what?
Well, I mean, that's cool.
I mean, as much character development as there can be in a multi-character show in an anime. Let me be clear.
Yeah,
but
so like not much, but they moved the needle.
Like they did move the needle, and it was again one of those instances where I was very pleased and surprised to find out this is not part of the manga. Like this is all completely made up for the show, and I was like,
source, I made it up.
Yeah, exactly.
I made it the fuck up.
I made it the fuck up.
Never believe anything you read on the internet. Abraham Lincoln.
You know, that is very coincidental that you brought that up, because the friend that wants me to watch like through all of Dragon Ball Z and the filler loves fucking Metal Gear Rising so much, and he hates...
I thought you were gonna say it's the same guy who has all the fucking Funko Pops, and I was about to shit myself.
Although they actually have the exact same name in real life, though.
That's crazy.
They're like both a common name, so no.
Boxing time. Let's go.
But just think of a generic male name, and you'll probably guess it one of these times.
Cole.
But anyway,
generic white guy name.
No, dude, Cole is not. I'm so pissed.
It's not. No, I have to say,
Cole Sprouse.
It's not really.
Hello.
Wait, did I say this on the podcast about the Overwatch guy, Cole Cassidy or whatever?
There's a lot of Coles. There's Cole Cassidy. There's Cole Sprouse.
Coltrane.
And that's it.
There's Coltrane. Yeah.
Who the fuck
Nestani
is Coltrane? Is that
Nestani
like
has no
a
idea
kind
who
of
that
train?
is.
Like, what are we doing here?
Chugga chugga choo choo.
Choo choo.
But no, dude, I remember
Coltrane is a character.
Coltrane is the black substance that like you burn.
Back when I was in high school,
coleslaw.
Like, I feel like I talked about this, but whatever. I don't care.
The most generic white coal is coleslaw.
I don't like coleslaw, actually.
Coleslaw
it's
ass, bro.
Coltrane,
Garbage.
by the way, is a
Actually,
character.
it's
a character from Gears of War. So,
but no,
yeah,
dude,
I've never played
like
Gears
when
of
Cole
War.
Cassidy got his name
Xbox
switched because some guy at Blizzard fucked somebody or whatever. Like, wow, surprise! Blizzard's a terrible place.
Yes, let's gloss over sexual assault for a moment here. And to be, I'm so The real
Because
struggle of being the
everybody's
white
probably heard of
male
it, and dude, I don't
is
play
people
Overwatch.
make fun of you for being named after an Overwatch character, and you have to take the brunt of this because that means you have to accept that somebody was shitty and a character had to be renamed
No, this is
to the
not what I'm
other
talking-
generic
No,
white guy
no,
name.
Let me finish the story.
We were joking off camera about, we were like, oh, what do we talk about tonight? And then Cosmic's just like, let's talk about the struggle of being a white man in
struggles of being
America.
a white
And
man.
look where we are now, dude.
No,
It's a great
hold
topic.
on. So this name got changed, which I'm fine. Like that's cool. Like I was like, oh, cool.
That's Cole.
I've never seen it. Like that's
Cole.
Cole. That's cool. It's Cole. And I kept seeing comments. I've never played Overwatch. I've never seen it with my bare naked eye on my own television on my own.
I mean,
video
we
game
know,
console.
bro.
Like,
You
I
didn't know
don't-
what Teamfight Tactics was. Like, we got it.
There we go.
know.
That-
Also,
Exhibit
technically,
A.
Cole.
So
Technically, Cole, if you were looking
I
at your
sh-
screen, it wouldn't have been with your naked eye. It would have been through your glasses. So
well, in high school I didn't wear glasses, so. But still, you're.
Oh,
I mean,
okay,
you're
fair
right
enough,
now.
yeah.
You're still present now, like in the present day. But like, I kept seeing all these comments, which I shouldn't care about. But I was in high school, and they were like, "Cole is such a basic ass white boy name," and all this other stuff. And I'm like, fuck you, fuck you. I don't know. I only know
Cole,
two
One
Coles.
of the most
Other than
popular
me in real life,
male
I don't care about
names.
celebrities. Who cares about celebrities? I know celebrities named like Barbara or whatever. I don't know anybody in real life named Barbara. Like
I do.
whatever.
Barbara
Well,
Washington.
cool, good for you.
While
But what I'm
Cole
saying
is a popular
what I'm
male
saying
name,
is-
it wouldn't be considered one of the most popular based on current trends. It usually ranks within the top 200 to 300 names in the United States, meaning that it's a common choice, but not consistently at the very top of the list.
I'm
How does it
exactly.
feel to
It's
be-
like I don't know
How do-
anybody. I
See-
know very few people who have that name. Pisses
How
me
does it
gotta-
feel to be
I
just
will
like
say-
everybody else?
I'm gonna ignore that.
I didn't even hear what he said.
Okay.
So.
I said, how does it
Good.
feel to be just
No.
like everybody else?
True. I'm
not-
just like the other
No.
girls,
I will-
guys.
I will.
No.
I
Cole,
will
how does
say
it
that.
feel to be a pick me?
I fucking hate this. What Cosmic, say your shit. Move on. Segue.
He's a
Transition.
pick me because it's like,
No,
oh, I have the
blah,
most
blah, blah,
unique
blah.
white guy name.
True.
What's his name? I like
not-
David Lynch.
No,
That makes
he
me
didn't-
so
he
unique.
didn't-
No,
and
I
quirky.
like
he didn't
David.
no,
I like
that-
David
That was
Lynch.
the other white
Yeah.
guy. That's the other one.
Yeah, that's the
What was
one
I
of
feeling?
three
I was
on
gonna
this
say some shit
podcast.
before. Oh well. Anyway, what were you about to say, Cosmic? Because I can go on the actual thing I was going to talk about.
Well, I was
and got
I was
distracted.
gonna say that you said 200th place.
200
or
to
whatever.
300. By the way, it's probably incorrect because I did just read the AI overview and I did not do any
That's-
actual research.
yeah.
So,
Yo!
Okay, but
Source, I made it up.
You're supposed to help me.
Let's-
You're my friend.
okay,
You're supposed to defend
let's-
me.
man, I can't care
Let's,
enough to like actually read through the articles, man. I'll
Your
just,
friends are going to
let's-
hold
doesn't
you
matter that
accountable,
much.
Cole.
it's probably
let's
close
just
enough.
lowball
We're
it.
keeping your ego
let's-
in check
It matters
tonight.
to like 16-year-old me. It did.
Let's just highball it and say it's the 200th place. All right. I feel like to call it a basic bitch name, it's got to be like top 50. All right. Like if they had renamed it to, if they had renamed McCree to like John something, and I had John next to me here on the layout.
Jacob Jingleheimer Smith.
Then-
His name is my name
Yeah,
too.
exactly. It's true. Or if his name was like, I don't know, Robert, then yeah, for sure. Like, absolutely. That's like
Top
the basic
50
bitch.
I just think people said
male
that because they
names.
were just complaining about change. Like they were like, "Oh man,
Probably,
there's
yeah.
change happening." So I was like, "But this was good change. He had a cool name."
All right,
I
are you
like
are you
that
ready for the
name."
top 50 names, everyone? Number 1,
Dude, are we-
Liam, the streamer. That's the end of the list.
Liam.
Wait.
What?
Shout outs to Super Mario 64. Liam. That was number 1.
Man, Green Suiji has done it again.
And now it's Jax's.
God damn it.
I feel like this can't be correct because number 6
Speaking
is
of
Mateo.
9/11,
Mateo.
Fuck. I
is
don't
it
know
globally
anybody.
or in the
It
U.S.?
says
made
in
this
the
list?
U.S. I don't know. Here, I'll click on another one.
I don't know.
Mateo is a fuckboy
Over the
name,
last
though.
100 years. Okay, here we go. James, Michael, Robert, John,
Yeah,
David,
James, yeah.
William, Richard, Joseph, Thomas, Christopher Columbus. I'm in the top 10, baby. Let's go. I'm just like the other
Hey.
girls.
I'm also in the top 10. I won't tell you where in the
Speaking
top
of
10.
the other girls, Mary, Patricia, Jennifer, Linda, really, Elizabeth,
Linda,
Barbara,
that's kind of weird.
Susan, Jessica. Okay, yeah. Karen,
Jessica,
unlucky.
yeah.
Sarah.
Is Karen on there?
Dude,
Did you say Jennifer?
Jennifer?
Yeah, Jennifer. Did you say
3,
Jennifer?
number 3,
on
yeah.
there? Number 3. Okay, yeah. Okay, you blazed past it, so I just totally missed it.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, Jennifer's.
I really, what name did I expect here? I expect Ashley to be higher. Ashley,
You know,
seems like
that's fair.
Ashley and Katie.
Ashley,
Ashley and
did you
Katie,
say?
I expect them to be
That's
higher.
true.
Did you say Mary as well?
Mary's
Or-
number 1.
Mary's
On
number
top.
1. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Shouts-
I
That makes
definitely
sense.
just.
Shouts
I
Jesus'
totally
mom.
forgot it as soon as you said it.
Margaret is number 18.
What is Elizabeth
Wow.
on that
It's
list? Did you say
1924 through 2023. Okay.
Oh,
I
that
understand
was
why Margaret and Barbara is like all the way up here. And Patricia. Yeah. And Nancy. Nancy at number 12.
Yeah, it's pretty lit.
All the dude, what this has told me is that female names have flip-flopped of what's most popular, but male names going on from the top 10 is Charles, Daniel, Matthew, Anthony, Mark, Donald, Stephen. I guess Donald's the only like kind of like OG name, but Stephen, Andrew, Paul, Joshua, Kenneth, Kevin, Brian.
I feel like Donald's gonna make a comeback. Donald's gonna make a comeback.
I hope not, man.
Not for the reasons that I'm looking forward to, but yeah.
You
Never thought about that, but that could be
Yeah.
true.
Yo, Kimberly's number 17. Shout outs to Kimberly, the yellow Power Ranger from
Pink
Dino
Ranger.
Thunder. She's hot.
Well, I was talking about Kimberly, the Pink Ranger from the original series.
Yep. She also
Mighty
shouts to
Morphin.
her as well.
Oh, wow,
Shouts
didn't
to
know
all
we
the
were full
Kimberlys.
of Power
Are they the
Rangers.
same person?
I don't think so.
Kimberly Pink Ranger is
This is a
same
truth
as
nuke if this is
Dino
correct.
Thunder Yellow Ranger question mark?
I somehow
That's what I
downed
typed.
it.
AI
Got
overview.
that.
No, Kimberly Hart, the Pink Ranger, is not the same as Kira Ford, the Yellow Dino Ranger, and the Power Rangers Dino Thunder. Explanation. I'm not reading the explanation.
Yeah, Kira Ford. Yeah, that's literally her name, and then the actor's name is Emma.
Shout outs to
Lahana.
both of those white women, though.
That's fair.
Call back to last
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah, fair enough.
Understandable, honestly.
Big day for the white women community.
I didn't know
honestly.
we had like Power Rangers fans in the, or maybe we've talked about this
Yeah.
in Society of Power Rangers.
I don't think we
Yeah,
have.
like Power
I was
Rangers
talking to
is
Power Rangers
cool,
with
dude.
someone recently, but I think it was my.
It was me. Yeah, it was
It was
me.
you? Oh, okay.
Because we were talking Dino Thunder.
Yeah, because I fuck with Dino Thunder. Dino Thunder is my favorite, and then Ninja Storm's also
Ninja Storm,
Poggers.
that was the other one.
And then Mighty Morphin is, it's OG classic, super good.
Yeah, I fucks with
love
Mighty
the
Morphin.
the Mighty Morphin movie. I spam that shit as a kid. I watched that so much, just the movie, because we didn't have the shows. So
And then what else was there? Lightspeed Rescue was
Can
pretty
afford the
tight.
Fuck, I feel like I'm under a rock. Well, actually, I shouldn't be surprised. We already established this.
And then what?
do you
which,
not know what Power
which
Rangers are, Cole?
series-
Like what?
I know what they are. My cousin was a big fan. I guess I don't know. Grew up with those.
Power Rangers Time Force. That was one that I kind
Time
of fucked with
Force?
too.
Force.
Time Force, yeah.
Power Rangers.
What's funny too is that if you look at Power Rangers, like,
Oh yeah, I know this one. No, this one's good too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, there's
with
like,
with the Blue Ranger black guy. Yeah, I remember this one.
yeah.
Is there?
And then what was it? Dan Southworth as the Quantum Ranger.
I don't know any of these
Quantum
words.
Ranger's crazy.
You know what's
I
crazy
still-
to me? Sorry, just this is just like my thought. Like the amount of times that I go into these classes and they're like, yeah, with like this film directed by this person with this. How do people remember who the fuck are in all these movies? I that's what I don't understand. I don't know.
How do you
shit
remember
of
who
dick
all
of
these
anyone.
streamers are, bro?
Huh?
How do you
Because
know
I'm
who all these
watching the
streamers are?
streamers who are actual people. I don't see the fucking director on the screen. Why would I know who the director is? I've never seen that nigga ever.
Because you look at the
insert themselves in the
directed
film.
by.
Maybe. Like I recognize Sandra Bullock because I've watched
yeah,
a
of
lot of
course.
her movies. That's about it. Pretty awesome.
What about
Yeah.
Zendaya?
Zendaya, Tom
I was
Holland,
expecting that.
yeah.
Tom Holland.
Rachel Zegler. But
Yeah.
like, it's like all these like random actors that everyone just like remember, and they just rattle like the whole cast off, and I'm like, bro, you're looking at the cast list more than you're watching the movie. Like, I don't know. It's just crazy to me. Like, I don't know.
Wait until you find out that people watch movies more than once.
I mean, yeah, I know that. I literally watch like Sound of Music every single year. And I've watched Interstellar probably like 10 times in the past like 5 years.
I need to watch that film. I haven't seen that film.
I would see watching like
haven't seen it
comedies
either.
multiple times as well, because sometimes you'll catch another joke you missed.
Yeah,
last
comedies
time,
are
or-
good
That's
to rewatch
fair,
as well.
yeah.
Did you say that you haven't watched Interstellar?
I haven't, no.
As someone
I
who
haven't
doesn't
either.
watch film, it's a really good show, but a lot of people have a lot of like problems with Interstellar. But I like
See, me
because
and
they're
all
like
my
it's no
roommates
movie,
in
sure
it's
I'd
blah,
like
blah,
it.
blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, bro, it's a fucking.
Yeah, who
of
gives
course,
a
it's not
shit?
realistic. Like,
It's fictional. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what makes it cool.
This is actually
I hate
something
when
that
people do
we
Star Wars. Oh my god, I hate it when people do those Star Wars. Sorry.
This is something that we talked about like in my English courses for my concentration in film, was that like something that one of my teachers brought up, it was the same guy that talked about the 2 ways you can teach a class, was that he would often he would often ask people to clarify what they meant by something being realistic being good, or what they meant by it being realistic. Because he was like, well, if you're going to the theater to see something realistic, that would be like going to the theater to see something that you yourself could experience. And then how are you getting your money out of seeing a movie if you're seeing something that you could experience yourself? You're going to the theater to see something fantastical, or something that's, maybe you couldn't experience yourself. And it's like I remember that being a huge thing for like my dislike of the word realistic as something good too.
yeah. Well, then
Because
if you
it-
dislike that, then I think you'll probably like Interstellar because
I mean,
it's my second favorite movie of all time. I guess it's my favorite real movie of all time because Sound of Music is a musical, so like it might not count as a movie to some people.
I'd say that counts as.
I mean, there's a whole lot of like, what is it, like gotcha, or like a whole lot of like the way that like film or TV shows are interpreted now, that's just like trying to judge it as like not what it actually is. Like when people are like, oh, Bruce Wayne doesn't need to be Batman, he needs a therapist. I'm like, no, he definitely just needs to be Batman. Like, like, or when people are like,
Jesus.
oh, Bruce Wayne doesn't help the city of Gotham, he just beats up homeless people. And I'm like, well, that's how I know you haven't read a comic book ever in your life, is because he does that. Like, he helps the city of Gotham by giving to charities and doing fundraisers and like helping out businesses. It's all there, dude. Like, none of this gotcha bullshit.
Those are the people
anymore.
that watch like Zack Snyder, like Batman v Superman shit.
yeah.
Dude, I think this is also another reason that I don't really watch movies is because you can't talk about a movie to like anyone like a regular human being anymore. Like, I feel like everyone that like watches movies are just like, it's just all elitism. It reminds me so heavily of Cosmic. The specific people in heavy metal who are like, if this isn't real metal, I'm not listening to this shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude.
like those people that only listen to metal and they're like super elitist about it. They love Pantera Walk and they think it's the greatest thing ever, even though that song is fucking dog shit. But like, they think that like, and it's just like so elitist, and it's like a big problem of why people don't get into like metal music, because some people are like, oh, I like Pierce the Veil, and they're like, that's not real metal, and you're just like, yeah. Like,
My favorite is when
it is. You might not like Pierce the Veil, but it is.
My favorite is like this dude that wrote an article that was like, where's all the heavier bands that are trying to like take after Slayer? Where are the Lamb of Gods of this era? And I really just want to be like, bro, you should start a band that follows in the footsteps of a
Or go to
band
the
like Slayer.
underground.
Or that too.
That's the real answer.
Or
Look
like
on Spotify.
it's these people
Look on
like
Spotify, look on SoundCloud, look for some weird
open
shit.
your eyes.
it's these people constantly like lamenting the death of like heaviness, and I'm like, man, there is nothing in the world that tells me that metal music is fine than people bitching about how heavy current metal music is. Like,
it's crazy too,
just
because all
so
of them are
funny
bitching
to
about
me.
it, but also none of them are listening to death metal or deathcore or like any of the actual like heavy like subgenres of metal. Not that we need to get into the whole metal discussion, but I was just drawing like those people are like the same people that I see in film, except that in film, because it's a bigger medium, there's so many of these people and you cannot get away from them. I can't. And like, I understand that I walked into it. Look, I'm very well aware I'm going to, the degree is literally called cinema studies. Like, I get what I'm walking into, but also I'm like, holy moly, can we speak English, ladies and gentlemen? Like, can we just like can we just like, because here's the thing,
be normal about this.
People just can't say something is good or that they like it. They have to have 1,000 reasons to justify the thing it is, when really the whole thing is, would you have rather done something else with your time? If yes, not a good movie. If no, probably a good movie. Like, see, I understand that like part of the fun for some people is breaking it down and doing all that shit, but like,
I do think that
every single movie ever. Can we not like? Can we not just like brush over like one? Like, you have to have all these reasons.
Films that like there are definitely some films that don't take itself seriously, but also as somebody who's interested in potentially like filmmaking one day, or not that I ever think I'd go to Hollywood or whatever.
Moving to LA,
but like
moving to New York. You don't need to do that if you want to.
But it's like just anything creative. I'm always curious, like why, like more specific things of why people like it, because then I can like think about that when I'm creating my own thing, and I just think it's fun talking about it.
Yeah,
I think just on a quick note, if I can judge it, I think the other thing too is if I want to look at or listen to analysis of not even just a movie, but like a book or like a game or something like that, I think it's like way more productive as someone who's making stuff like that to like pull out one specific type of thing instead of like do the whole grand fucking here's what the meaning of life is with every single fucking movie, right?
Yeah.
Because like there are some things that like you as someone who's perceiving the media are going to be able to speak to better than others, right? Like for example, me, I'm asexual, so if there's a piece of media talking about, I know, shocker. But like if there's a piece like, you know, for example, you know, I haven't watched the show, but I know BoJack Horseman, for example, has an asexual character. So maybe I would have something to say. No idea what just happened. Yeah, we just like
that's fine.
Did the
you'll have to watch the YouTube
body
video.
Language equivalent of vocal stimming.
Actually, wait. So they could just look at the Spotify video because Spotify. No, whatever. I'm stupid. Anyway, continue.
Don't worry about Horseman. I think you get the idea though, where it's just like. Stop trying to like take the whole thing and don't solve the movie. That's the other thing that fucking gets me.
Yes.
Don't solve the movie. Like people who try to solve like the plot, or like people who try to like get the entire thing. The goal of art is to make you feel something. So talk about how it made you feel. Anyway, that's the end of my rant.
And to yes and you before Cosmic goes, because I know he wants to fucking springboard. Boom. I think like that's like the number one thing that like you said, like basically like take one thing and talk about it. And that's like how I pitch. That's literally how I pitch Interstellar to people. I'm like, the coolest thing about Interstellar is how in the giant wave scene, every tick means that a year is passing. Like every tick in the music, like score, means that a year is passing, and I find that really fucking cool. I can give you now 1,000 other things about Interstellar of why I like it, but I think that is like the coolest. Like the soundtrack is literally telling you something about the movie that you wouldn't like know otherwise, right? And it's just like, that's my yes and.
I was gonna say too, honestly, like. As many pretentious people as there are in film school, I feel like the average person has also gotten more pretentious, again, with like the gotcha stuff, or like the empowerment of like YouTube video essays where they're like, people get their like opinion of something from a YouTube video. It's bad. Just like, it's a lot. It's a lot. And like, the thing too is that I think that as cool as stuff like David Lynch's work is, or like a lot of these other like big directors, right? I think it says a lot more about somebody. This is to your point about like, don't break down everything. I think that there is some beauty in like the nuance of understanding why you think something is good or bad. And I find it a lot more interesting to talk with somebody about a film that they maybe just felt okay about, you know, or maybe a film that is maybe just kind of viewed as decent, because it's very easy, I think, to get lost in what is renowned and what is condemned, right, in terms of filmmaking or in terms of other media. And this goes to video games as well, right? It's very easy for people to understand that they like something that's good, but why, like they like it because it's good, but do you really understand why you like that thing that's good? If you play something similar that's not as good, maybe not. It's the thing with like let's take like Dino Crisis and Resident Evil.
I thought you were gonna say Dino
People-
Thunder.
No, that would have been cool, but no.
That would have been hype. I was like, damn, deep cut.
Dino Crisis is a series that, I mean, to an extent, this is like Jurassic Park is involved in this as well. But like Dino Crisis is a series that is beloved off the back of Resident Evil. But when it comes to like the first game, and I've played a decent amount of the first game, it's really Resident Evil with dinosaurs. Like the reason that people like Dino Crisis, it's kind of funny too. Like there's one point where like a character like Regina says, the main character Regina says to another character, "We were attacked by dinosaurs," and then like 2 minutes later, the other guy's like, "You said you were attacked by giant lizards?" "No, motherfucker. She said she was attacked by a dinosaur." Like, but anyway, so like Dino Crisis, the love that people have for that game is directly related to the love that they have for Resident Evil. So a lot of the glazing that happens for Dino Crisis and why people think that it should come back is related to like how well Resident Evil has been received recently and how well the remakes have gone over. It is pretty much not on the merits of Dino Crisis itself. Even though the games are decent, it's like you like it because it's similar to this other thing. You don't understand that you like Resident Evil for like, I don't know, maybe the exploration aspects or something, but like, or maybe like the environmental storytelling or whatever. You certainly don't like it for the characters because those are mostly broad strokes or whatever. But I guess Resident Evil fans, you put two JPEGs next to each other for the first time in a century and they get really, really excited about their anime waifus or whatever, dude.
Damn.
So like,
Dude.
it's whatever. I love Resident Evil, but like that's just how the fandom be sometimes. Oh my god, Leon and Jill are gonna meet each other for the first time. It doesn't matter, dude. I'm sorry. The characters in Resident Evil don't matter. What's happening with them only tangentially important. What matters is what's happening environmentally on a bigger scale. Anyway, so before I launch on the fucking overarching messages.
Oh, that
of
wasn't
Resident
even the
Evil.
launch? Jesus.
No. I was saying
15 launches. Man. Like,
Holy shit. I might
gonna
as well
say
get
I'm
up and fill my drink. Like, goddamn.
Oh no! Basically, I was saying I'm going to stop myself from launching on that.
oh, okay.
But to kind of wrap it back around, like I think if you put somebody in front of a film that they'll maybe just be okay about, they'll learn, or a game. If you ask them to play a game that maybe they'll just feel fine about, they can learn a lot, and you can learn a lot about why they like what they like, and maybe why you like what you like. You know, because I'm trying to think of like a pretty recent example on the PS2, but
there's a really good video essay as well by H Bomber Guy called Deus Ex Revolution, a Human Revolution is okay, and here's why.
Yeah.
Where it's just like a 5-hour video essay about a game that's like, it's fine, it's decent, but it's not great, and like kind of digging into it from there, and that really kind of to what you're saying, kind of like
I think
the pathways for the brain a little bit.
I think that the thing that most recently comes to mind, well, not recently, but like the most often comes to mind for me is like Vanquish, which, you know, is a third-person shooter directed by Shinji Mikami and made by Platinum Games that has some of the most. Why does he know? I'm just messing. But Shinji Mikami co-created Resident Evil for reference, and he made a bunch of other stuff. It's got some of the most fulfilling like third-person shooter gameplay that there is, but it is also a product of like the gray and brown and white color schemes of the 7th gen.
Yummy.
Right. So, and the story is like just okay. The level design is decent. The characters, some of them are decent, but others are kind of lacking. Like there's just straight up a politician that's like president of Earth that looks like Hillary Clinton for some reason, and it's like, all right,
Earth.
or president of the United States. Well, no, president of the United States. I'm sorry, it's not president of Earth.
President of Earth goes so hard.
Same thing is crazy.
That sounds like a great band name too.
President
Give
of
it
the
up
Earth.
for President of the Earth.
But no, I was thinking of Mike Hagar, Mayor of Earth from Final Fight. But But it's like that game. I've played it so much that like I love the combat. I love all the enemy design. Well, some of the enemy design, I should say, and I love the weapons and everything. But like when I did my GDQ run for it, I had Demonic Robots go through the game casually so he could recount the story because I had forgotten all of it. And like I could not sum up how to talk about that game, and I could not be asked to play through the game casually again. So when you watch that run in the commentary, all of the cutscene knowledge is him. Like I only know what happens in the run, like in the in-game cutscenes when the characters are talking. And sometimes I don't even pay attention to that because we play in Japanese audio because it's faster. So like that is a game and I want people to stop using the term flawed masterpiece, by the way, because by definition, a masterpiece is not flawed. Sense. Yes, it's sensationalist and it's totally hyperbolic and performative, but that's like everything on social media.
It's called a YouTube video title.
Yeah, it's a YouTube video title.
Can I ask you
something? In which
case,
Cosmic? Go for it. But like,
yeah. What's up, Coley?
So, I mean, this is for everybody too, but how do you feel about the term like mid? Because like usually that just means like it's not good, but it's not bad. But now I feel like a lot of people use mid as just another word for like
it's bad,
boring, like a different kind of bad where it's just like boring or whatever.
It feels like an incurious way of describing something. Yeah. It's like it sounds like someone who doesn't really want to engage any deeper with thinking about it.
That's just kind of really good way of putting it. Wow,
it is. Yeah,
that was
totally.
That was like the most insightful thing Jaxler has said in like 5 episodes.
What is the term? Wow. The term is like the term, right? The term is like.
At least I tried.
It's like thought. It's like a thought terminate. It's like a thought terminating argument or something like that, or a thought terminating statement, right? Or thought terminating statement. It's like, you know, I say that. For example, I say that Astrobot. I hate it because I think it is substanceless referential garbage. Because that game is all about like the Funko Pop shit that's in it, and like the characters making cameos. And it is pretty much not about like the baby's first Super Mario Galaxy or whatever, right? That goes on in that game. And then people come at me with, well, it's fun. It's about when making games were about being fun. And I'm like, yeah, so let's talk about all these games that came out recently that are supposed to be fun. I'm pretty sure there's like 99% of games that are made to be fun. It's a thought terminating argument. To like, yeah, what am I going to say to, oh yeah, Astrobot's probably fun. Fun is subjective, you know, like, sure. But it's so mid, like there's 3 terms that I have a problem with that have ramped up in popularity like 9,000 times %, which is like peak, mid, and slop. Like, I hate that shit so much.
The Rolodex right
there.
I will push back on one thing as an addendum. I like the phrase peak fiction because it can be evocative of a specific type of thing, but that's like a side.
Yeah, I don't know. People have since dropped like fiction part of that, and then
I don't like that. I don't fuck with that.
People will like hold up a water bottle and they'll be like, "Man, this water bottle design is peak," and I'm like, what are we talking about here, man?
Just say it's
good. Just say it's easy to hold in your hand, as opposed to like, I don't know, the smart water bottles that look like you're holding a tube of the ooze from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Secret of the Ooze. Like, come on, dog. What are we talking about here?
I think also just to like go more on mid. I think mid as a phrase I like personally, but I think you have to use it for what it's actually for what it's intended to do, which is actually talking about something mid. Because whenever I say something mid, normally I always say, yeah, this is mid, blah 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 blah, and I keep going, not just like, I thought it was kind of mid.
You should not end a sentence with mid.
For example, like the Chromacropia Tyler Creator album, I didn't tell Cole that it was mid. I told him that it was bad. Okay, let's be very clear.
And you were honestly right. Yeah.
And it's just like, I feel like people are using mid as bad, and that's what I have like a problem with, is that it's just like, I think like Jaxler put it like perfectly that they're just slamming the door shut on you. Basically, they're just
exactly.
It's like they want to say it's
bad,
but they don't want to like cause a scene.
Yeah, it's this whole thing of you don't want to say something's bad because you're afraid of how people will perceive you, right? Which is like this whole like another thing, because we've been talking about like how you find your taste or like how you know what you like, and there was actually one thing that I thought was really cool, and I'm gonna butcher it again, like how I butchered it telling it Skull. Okay, we're gonna do the same shit here, but like, it was basically a very nerdy way, because again, they used giant words, but it was a very nerdy way of saying basically like people are more likely to like something that is popular because of the social aspect, right?
Yeah.
Drake. It's why people like Drake.
Yeah. Well, I was actually more gonna like refer to Chappell Roan. Because also to tie this in,
be very careful. You are treading on.
I'm not going to be careful. What I'm going to say is going to be like legit, and people are going to probably agree with it if they actually hear what I have to say. But like where I was going with this whole thing is that people are more likely to like what other people like, A, but also B is that you are more likely to like something that is like a similar pattern or like repetition or something that is very familiar to you. If it's more familiar to you, you will tend to like it more. But in order for you to actually latch on to that thing, it needs to be familiar but also different in a way. And so the reason I bring up Chappell Roan is because in this instance, you want familiarity and you want something different. And I think like her and Sabrina Carpenter are the two ones that have done it, where like if you close your eyes, you have no idea what the fuck Chappell Roan looks like, and you just listen to her music and you're like, oh boom, this is like pop music, whatever. You know, you're kind of like in between, right? You're like, this is like basic pop music, whatever, I'm fine. But then you open your eyes and you see that she's dressed in this crazy garb. She has the fucking white face on, even though she's white. It's kind of funny. But she has this like super crazy like get up and garb, and then on top of that, she has this very and then also I did this kind of out of order, but also in that example, if you're like imagining what she would like act like as like a pop star, you would think, oh, she's gonna be like prim, proper, whatever. None of those things. Like she is not prim, she is not proper, she is like very much like,
and loudly queer as fuck. That's
exactly like she's very anti like the norm pop star that you pixel make in your head, right? And so that's the thing of like the music familiar, right? But everything about Chappell Roan is not, right? And that's the unfamiliarity, and that's why she's super popular right now. I think it's the same thing with Sabrina Carpenter, where again, close your eyes, you're like, oh, this is basic pop music, whatever. But then you open your eyes and she's like, can you do this one? And then she fucking does Doggy Style on the stage, and you're like, holy shit, fucking pop stars don't do that. Yeah. You know, they don't hypersexualize themselves on the stage. And it's just like, but that's part of her shtick, right? And people are drawn to that, right? It's the sense of familiarity, but it's also this other like, what is, I guess the other way to put it is, what is the it factor, right? I guess like the lame fucking pussy way of putting it. But
what's
it's
the
like,
spin on it?
Yeah, it's the spin, right? And you need both in order to achieve like why things are popular. And I think like after like after reading that like article, I think it was like a chapter in a book or something. I don't know what it was. After reading that like excerpt though, I was just like, oh, because I would always say, and I think I've said this on the podcast, I don't really know why people like Sabrina Carpenter. Like, I don't like specifically, I don't know why they like her so much now versus like in 2016 when she was making basically the same music, because I like her Evolution album, which is a 2016 album. And I'm like, what happened that she like got super huge? And the thing is she didn't have anything different enough at the time. It was just like basic pop music, and there was nothing to grab onto. But now there's something to grab onto, obviously. Literally.
Yeah, because she started having like raw sex on stage.
I'm glad me and Jax just slammed on that together. Is
that what I have to do to be a popular speedrunner? Do I just have to like whip my hog out on stream? Is that how it?
No,
is that how I get people to? I have to pick a top tier.
Yeah, you have to get record.
What if my dick is a top tier?
What the fuck?
I'm clip farming. I'm sorry.
We're gonna ranking Steelers dicks now. What are we doing?
I'm gonna make a. All right, hold on. Let me adjust the mic here.
Top 10 Jaxler moments on this podcast.
I'm gonna say that So Jaxler, how familiar with Marvel vs. Capcom 2 are you? Okay.
Oh no.
Only a
I know
little bit.
some
Are you
things. I know some
are
things.
are you familiar with Dhalsim in Marvel 2?
Not Dhalsim, no.
Okay, so Dhalsim in Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is known as a top tier, but people make the assumption that, or people like make the argument that Dhalsim is a top tier on paper only, because basically nobody uses him. And when you said, what if my dick is a top tier, that's kind of what I figured the comparison you were making was.
Wow.
Got you there. Got you there.
Wow.
Are you saying I have a long dick? Because Dhalsim's got those long ass arms and legs.
You
and
might.
shit.
I don't know. All I know is your dick is the Dhalsim of speedrunning.
I don't compare.
Like,
Because
that's fair.
And if you want to see Jaxler's dick, be sure to like and subscribe to the podcast, everyone. That's gonna be
All right. Fair enough. I can't do better.
Bye-bye.
than Jackson.
See you later.
Does anyone have anything to say before we go? Anyone do anything while we will?
I do.
Wow.
The day that you are watching this, when this is being uploaded, I'm finishing my Wii Fit challenge. It'll be the last day I do it. I've been playing Wii Fit every single day this month to see if it actually works. And the 31st is the last day of the month. So tune into twitch.tv/Coley_02 or my YouTube. I'm dual streaming. Wow.
Hashtag ad.
So
Hashtag gifted.
If you're curious about that, you'll see the final results
Yeah.
today.
yeah.
So there
I have
you go.
two things. One, happy birthday to my dad. This on the time of uploading is my
Happy
dad's
birthday, Jaxler Dad.
Yeah, so shout outs to him. Shout outs to my dad after doing this my cockpit for like the last 5 minutes.
Shout outs to your dad for giving you that cock. Hey.
Yeah, I mean, game recognizes game, right?
He had a part in it. It's true.
Unfortunately, he did. But secondly, I'm literally only going to say this on the pod just so it like gives me motivation. But I am working on another video, so
Oh, sick. Awesome.
look forward
Yeah.
to that. It's going to be a fucking nightmare to get footage for, but yeah.
I don't really have anything new other than I'm still grinding DMC4 stuff. So probably going to end up running all 3 character categories by within the next few months. So if you like Devil May Cry 4, tune in.
I'm streaming, but not 6 days a week probably anymore. I will stream whenever I can.
Cool.
I've corrected it to that because I have way too many things to do. Smile.
Yeah.
He's got to watch
Not
more
enough
David
energy.
Lynch.
Dude.
True.
I'm gonna kill 27. Goodbye.